hey, this is real.
Yeah.
This is actually true. This is reality. You could do it. Believe in yourself. Just one more day. Keep grinding. Just do what you want to do. Follow your heart. You don't have to sacrifice your morals. You don't have to sacrifice your beliefs. Just follow your dreams.
So in this episode, we talked to Bora and Isaac. And I actually recorded this episode back in August of 2024. Right now it's October, and I finally finished editing it. And the reason it took so long is because, I'll just say it, I let perfection get in the way of progress. For some reason, when we were recording, the microphone must have jiggled out of the port, and so it recorded audio from my laptop microphone rather than this microphone that I'm holding in my hand. And so that really bothered me, and every time I went to go edit it, I just didn't like it, so then I just kept putting it off. So my advice to myself and to you is to not let perfection get in the way of progress. So in this episode, we talk with Bora and Isaac. They are the creators behind Boncho Friends. These are study cards that you can use to study for the NCCAOM board exam. We also talked about the sacrifices that they had to make and how hard they had to work in order to get Boncho Friends off the ground. One thing that was really eye-opening for me was how they both went through these life-changing experiences and how they got through it. And they talk in detail about that. It really motivated me. I think it's going to motivate you as well. On top of all that, they also shared really good study tips on how to use their flashcards to help you prepare in school and for the board exam as well. I was really motivated by them because of their story, both as business partners and also actually as life partners. They just got married in September. I'm really excited for them, and I wish them all the best of luck because they deserve it. They're just really good people. And I was really motivated by the testimony that Bora and Isaac gave at the end of this episode. So be sure to check out Bora and Isaac at bonchofriends.com, and they're actually going to give Study Acupuncture with Me listeners 10% off their first order if you use Study Acu with Me at checkout. All right, so without further ado, I hope you enjoy the episode.
All right. Hey, everyone. Dr. Richard Lai here with Study Acupuncture with Me. And today we have not just one guest, but we actually have two very special guests today. Today we are joined by Bora and Isaac, and they are the geniuses behind Boncho Friends. And if you don't know what Boncho Friends is, Boncho Friends has amazing study cards that cover acupuncture points, herbology, basic foundation. It even covers diagnoses. So everyone, please join me in welcoming the geniuses behind Boncho Friends, Bora and Isaac.
Hey, hi everyone.
Thank you guys for joining the show. And, the point of today is to let the listeners really know about you. So first question is, can you guys introduce yourselves and tell us about yourselves?
Okay. Hi, my name is Bora Choi. I am the co-founder and CEO of Boncho Friends. I graduated from South Baylor University in Anaheim, California. And I have my license acupuncture in 2018 for California license. And then for NCCAOM, for Diplomate of Oriental Medicine, I got that in 2020. Yeah. And then after that, we started Boncho Friends together officially.
My name is Isaac. I'm the creative director for Boncho. I'm the artist behind the drawings.
Ooh.
And designed the cards. Yeah, I studied studio art at UCSD, and I went to South Baylor University from 2012 to 2015. And I dropped out at the very end, and I turned my back on acupuncture and Oriental medicine for certain reasons. But I got back in because I started to work at a nutritional supplements company that's based on Chinese medicine. And I was able to utilize my knowledge there to consult with our customers for the Chinese medicinal nutritional supplements. And that's where we actually met.
Mm-hmm.
So we both got hired there and met there. And as we talked about acupuncture, Oriental medicine, and business ideas, because we both like business.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how Boncho started to evolve. And we decided to, why not make the company and see where it goes.
So you both were working full-time at this nutritional supplement company. And then you sort of,
yes.
Did you guys know each other when you guys were in school?
No, I left school in 2015 and she actually entered the school in 2015.
Ah.
So
It's like
that.
that's like a movie, you guys are coming in and someone's leaving, right? One of my favorite movies is this Asian movie called Turn Left, Turn Right, where like this couple, they live next door to each other, but one always turns right, one always turns left, but they're destined to be together. And the whole movie is just about that. So it's sort of like you two, right? It's like, oh, you're just leaving, and then but then eventually you guys meet together. Yeah.
The crazy thing is that like that actually happened to us for community college as well, because we talked about like the school. Yeah. I went to Fullerton College for community college before I went to UCSC, and when I left, she and Fullerton.
So literally, so it's literally turn left, turn right.
Yeah, literally.
But did you know each other then? Like,
no,
not at all.
Not at all.
You should look back at your pictures. Look back at your pictures. Maybe like she's in the background or like he's in the background. Right?
You should.
Yeah. I have goosebumps.
I get goosebumps. Like every time
That's crazy. That's cool.
Yeah.
And so, but then fast forward to now, right? So I don't think the listeners know, but you guys are about to get married?
Married. Yeah.
I don't know how to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got married. We actually got married in the States.
Oh, yeah.
Year, in January.
Like legally married.
Legally.
Yeah. So we didn't have a wedding because all of our family is in Korea. So even my family, all my extended family is in Korea. All of her extended family is in Korea. So we legally married, tied the knot on January 2nd. But we're having the wedding here.
Wedding ceremony.
Yeah.
In Korea.
Yeah. And Korean wedding ceremonies are fast and crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because, for people who don't know, a Korean wedding is like, it's just, you go in and it's very fast ceremony. Maybe someone's going to sing and then you go downstairs for the buffet. It's very
like boom, 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 boom. It's like corporate wedding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When I went
you go, and next couple goes in.
A little bit
factory.
When we were my brother-in-law's wedding, when we were in Korea, it was like in the front, all of his pictures, everything like that. And then we go into the wedding, we come out, somebody else's pictures are there already. Wow, it's so fast.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So
you said.
So for the two of you, right, you guys are sort of a left-right thing, right? Very destined people to be together. You guys almost met in community college, coming in and coming out, and then almost met at acupuncture school, coming in and coming out. And then finally, the universe decided to put you guys together at this nutritional supplement company. Yeah. And then working together, who approached who first?
I mean, 100% it was me. Because over here, this person is very shy. So, I as I got to know her, I fell in love with her, personality. She's like the biggest thing. Like she has the biggest heart, like the biggest, like nicest person I know. And she's able to take care of the people around her. Like just watching her take care of all the employees at the company, like it really had a big impact on me, because I was like, wow, there's someone who has super big heart like this, right? So I started to really like her, and the way that I approached her was to find a common ground, right? So we found, as we talked, the common ground that I found was that we're both really interested in business. And like how the business works. Like the books that she was reading was very similar to the ones that I was reading. So yeah, I think I really
you're drawn,
went straight for it. Yeah.
Yeah, he initiated a lot of meetings.
Meetings.
like for business.
Meetings.
That's so cute. So then you guys are both really interested in business. Like what's a book that you guys were both similarly reading? Do you remember?
I think it was Think and Grow Rich.
Oh, okay.
I think Think and Grow Rich was the biggest common book.
Yes.
And then the other one was
Rich Dad Poor Dad with Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Both very good books. Yeah. Think and Grow Rich. Yeah. Have writing things down. That thing, it's pasted on my computer desk. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Wow. That's great.
Nice.
That's great. Okay. Good. Yeah. So then you guys are business minded people, and then you guys met there. You guys got to know each other. You guys were friends first, and then you guys fell in love. And then where did you guys go on your first date?
Man, that's a tough question because honestly, once we got the ball rolling and we talked about like business and stuff, it became natural for us to just meet every day.
Oh, okay.
So because we're seeing each other every day at work, we're seeing each other after work, and then it just became natural.
Yeah.
Like I think we're going out, that kind of thing. Like 'cause we're spending so much time together. We're eating lunch together, dinner together. So I think it just happened naturally.
It just felt comfortable.
Really natural. Yeah, it just felt really comfortable, and then I think it was the moment when we started to hold hands.
It's like a K-drama.
So like, yeah. So I don't think it was like a specific like first date or anything. We were just like, okay, and then hold hands.
That's cute. That's cute. Someone told me a long time ago that the secret to any marriage, right, is to be in the same direction. And so whenever I see couples, I try to figure out like what's their same direction. I told, my brother-in-law this too, because it's like in the very beginning, it feels like you're in the same direction. So every once in a while, you still have to course correct and make sure like, are we going in the same direction? Is our family, are we, after the same goal? Maybe, we're having a family. Our goal is to have a really calm, peaceful environment, loving for our family. So both of us, we know that's the goal. So every day we do that. Or our goal is to make money so we can travel the world and show our kids or show ourselves the world. So you're going in the same direction. People get in trouble when over time, 5 years, 10 years, you don't course correct. So in the beginning, it's like your parallel lines. But if it's just a little bit degree off, 10 years ago, 10 years later, it could be in very different directions.
Yeah.
So people get into trouble with that. So it's like you have to make sure you're sort of in the same direction, right? So like for you, it feels like business from the very beginning, growing something, not just yourselves, and then keeping it in that direction. But yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So that was someone.
That's a really interesting point because like I feel like that not only applies to like marriage, but it applies to like everything in life. Like if 1 degree difference between I'm going to be successful or I'm not going to be successful, it like changes your life from 10 years from now.
Yeah.
And I think to get out from that tangent, like the reason why we call our company Boncho is because not only does it mean Chinese medicine in Korean, but it's a double meaning where the Chinese characters are Pon and Cho, which is foundation and beginning. And our whole philosophy is course correcting constantly. Remember where you're orienting yourself. Like, I'm here to heal people. I'm here to help others. Yes. I'm here to know the basics and know my foundation of where I started so that I have that strong foundation to build upon my knowledge, my career, my family, my friends. So that to us, that orientation is really, really something important.
Yeah.
In our lives.
When he started talk about doing business, he told me exactly the same thing. And then that's when I was like, oh, this person is different. You're going to do something with him. Yeah.
I didn't tell her to say it. Wow, thank you. The term orient, right? Like orienting yourself. And that's why I like Oriental medicine. Because in a sense, it's like we're reorienting our body, like health, into the correct position toward health. And a lot of people say acupuncture and herbology, it's not like Western medicine where the effect is quick like that. But actually having increments of small degrees changes, it really course corrects in a large way in the future. So, I think it's a beautiful way to call our medicine Oriental medicine, just because it's like we're orienting ourselves.
맞아요. I love that. I think with any medicine, I feel like acupuncture, Oriental medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, it's almost the only one you're taught to have an intention and bring that intention into the treatment. So that even the one needle, some teachers talk about the one needle, is the one needle the one physical needle, or is the one needle you? right? So it's like you
Right.
are more than enough to help this person orient themselves so that their body is back in harmony.
Mhm.
Western medicine, sometimes they don't teach that. They don't teach that as much anyway. It's very like 4 patients at the same time and typing on the computer while you're not even looking at the person. And it's like, there's no connection, right? No, like even orienting yourself first, bringing it to them. It's like, there's nothing like that in a lot of Western things, right?
Yeah, they reduce you down to a statistic or a number rather than a person.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys met there, right? And then you guys decided to start this Boncho Friends, right? So then how did that start? How did you guys begin the process of even doing that? Because there's acupuncture students and acupuncturists out there who they want to start their own something. What did you guys do? How did you guys begin this whole thing?
So we actually started a company in 2019, but we didn't incorporate it until 2021. So we started the company as in like, oh, let's actually post things based on Boncho Friends in 2019. And then it was on and off.
Yes.
Like we were thinking about doing different business ideas. But 2021, we decided, hey, let's do this. But the idea for Boncho actually started way earlier. So the name foundation and beginning Boncho, the reason why I wanted to call it that was because of my experience at acupuncture school. So while I was going to school, I had this really not naive, but more like a romantic idea that acupuncturists and healers, doctors are in it to help other people. Like it's 100% I'm in it to heal others. I'm here to help others become healthy. I'm like a saint, like a very romantic type of idea that I had. And when I was studying acupuncture and talking to other students, the world isn't all fairy dust kind of like that, right? It's more realistic. You got to build a business. You got to earn money. You got to actually get paid for your work. Right. So as people were talking about that, for me, it was kind of devastating, right? Because I'm Pisces. I don't know if you're into zodiac, but I'm very idealistic. And so I thought everyone at school had pure intentions of just wanting to help people rather than making money, building a business, which is all good. And I look back at my younger self and I wish I wasn't too hot-headed about it. I regret certain decisions, such as dropping out of school 1 month before graduation. But to me, it was so important that healers, doctors, and practitioners never forget why they're doing this. Why am I a doctor? Why am I healing other people? And I think that's where the true essence of Boncho comes from. Let's remember where our roots are, our foundation, why we started. So that's why Boncho actually started. And from that, thinking about, okay, how am I going to convey acupuncture to the world? Because a lot of this discussion at the time was, oh, how am I going to get more money from my patient? How am I going to compete against my other classmates when they graduate? So I saw a lot of students competing with each other even before they graduated, in the sense that they were not directly sabotaging, but indirectly sabotaging by hiding information.
Wow.
Not telling about certain things. Like once they get a tip, they're like,
oh wow,
like, oh, I'm not gonna tell you anything unless you provide me something. Or one devastating comment that I heard from another person was that even if you could treat someone fully in 3 sessions, you gotta do it in 10 sessions. You gotta tell them that, hey, actually, I could do it in 10 sessions. Even though I could do it in 3, you gotta tell them 10 because you need to make money. And if you're starving, you're never gonna, survive. Those kind of comments really hit me hard, really hard in the heart, especially. So for me, it was like a crisis, right? Is it the game that I'm supposed to play and accept, or am I going to change the game? So after a lot of soul searching, I decided that, hey, you know what? How about we increase the pie rather than try to compete for the pies within the small pie? And for me, that was to expand the knowledge of acupuncture, expand the industry, expand it to the point where there's a lot more customers.
Yeah.
Like so many customers that we can't even handle that many customers.
Yeah.
So we don't even need to compete with each other. And how can we do that? And I thought, okay, that's going to be education.
Mhm.
Like people need to learn about this, because as I'm learning, I'm like astounded. I'm shocked by people getting one needle and like,
Yeah.
oh, it doesn't hurt anymore.
Yeah.
Like amazing. Like how does that happen, right? And when I'm shocked like that, I was certain that other people are going to be like that as well, like other fellow Americans, other people who never heard of acupuncture. So for me, it was like, okay, I need to reach those people, the people who don't know that this kind of amazing thing exists. And so I thought the best way to convey that and expand this knowledge would be through cute characters.
Yeah. It worked. It worked. When I was showing my wife everything on your stuff, she's like, that's cute. Wait, that's really cute. That's a good idea. That's so cute, bro.
We actually, 2019, when we first started Boncho Friends, if anyone goes back to our Instagram page and then go back to like very first one, we started with herb and comic form.
Mm-hmm.
So everything was in a comic form and explaining things with the characters and like bubbles, and that's how it started. Yeah. And then later on, it developed into card format because he's very into Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's where he got the idea to create this into cards. And then a lot of people are very into cards, like trading cards or baseball cards. So I thought that was really great idea. So I told him, oh yeah, we should definitely do this. We should make it into Pokemon cards. Yeah.
Because I have a lot of ideas. Like I have 1,000 ideas, but this company would never have happened if she wasn't the one who said, actually, this is it. Like this is the idea that we should work on. So when she said, hey, this is something that people are going to want, it was a key moment when it actually developed into a actual company.
Yes.
Because for me, it was just all about ideas. But for her, it's all about the physical, actual, realistic approach to the business.
Right. Yeah. So when we started the single herb cards, we didn't have much money to make our own cards. We didn't have starting funds. So we did Kickstarter.
Oh, wow. How much money did you raise from that?
Like 20 customers.
Wow.
It was good enough money for us to start the business. Yeah. So that's how the actual business started.
And it showed us that people were actually willing to pay.
Yes.
And buy.
But that's like your proof too. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So you guys had the idea, right? And then you guys were working on it in your Instagram and whatnot since 2019. And then 2021, you said that's when you incorporated, right? Like actually made it more official according to the law. You guys got your LLC or something like that.
We did the Kickstarter in 2021.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's probably right.
Yeah. And so, because in my research of you too, something happened in 2021, right? There was like a wake up call that sort of happened there. Can you talk about that?
So I had a really big car accident. My car got totaled.
Oh, wow.
Thankfully, I didn't get much hurt. But after that incident, I really had to think about what I really want to do in my life. Yeah, so I was actually driving to pick up lunch for my coworker back then. And then that's when I got car accident. And then I was like, oh, getting in a car accident and then I could have died that day. And thinking about that, I was like, that's really meaningless life. After that happening, I thought about it a lot, and then I talked to him a lot. Since we did started Boncho Friends Instagram together in 2019, we had a break in between some period. But then
we threw like ideas to each other. We're like, how about we do a dropship business? How about we do this kind of business? Blah, blah, blah. And then Boncho was just one of them. But after this instance was
Yeah. And then I was like, okay, we have to do something that is meaningful. And then, yeah, it's just you only live once. And I really wanted to do something that's impactful to our community, help a lot of people. So that's when we actually got back to Boncho Friends, and then we developed more into creating like actual cards, and like we really did a lot of brainstorming how to help students and practitioners to help others to get healthier.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even for the people who are listening, what is the wake-up call for you? Because life will throw you a huge curveball, like a car accident or something to make you wake up and realize, what am I doing? And maybe I can find something more meaningful. Wow, that's amazing. And I can see more too, as I'm talking to you guys. We got to know each other before this call as well, but I see where it's like Isaac is very like ethical person, right? And then drawn to someone who has a really pure heart. And then like a person who has a lot of ideas, a lot of hope in the world, a lot of like sees the good in everything, right? And has a lot of ideas to help others, but needs a Bora to focus those ideas, right? So that, right? So that it's like a little more focused. Versus like this one, oh, this one, right? And then this one, no, this is the one. Let's do this one. Right. And so, yeah, because as acupuncturists, right, we will encounter people like that. We look to see the good in the world, but then tricked by them. Right. And then like we have to ask ourselves, like, what do we do in that situation? You know, like, do we stand by our morals and our ethics and just, okay, like, is this just the way the world is? Like you were saying before, or it's like, do I do something about it? Because I mean, one of the places that I worked at, the clinics that I worked at, the acupuncturist there wanted me to work more hours. And so I didn't want to work like the different amount of hours because I was trying to get as much clinical practice as I can by working in different settings. And with this person, he had a clinic in New York, clinic in New Jersey. He wanted me to use my license for the patients that he was seeing, but I wasn't seeing. So that way it's like they come in, they get massage therapy, chiropractic care, physical therapy, acupuncture. So then all four in one. That's how you make money. And I was like, oh, wow. So I really had to think about it too. You know, I had to think about it. Like, what do I do? So I gave my letter of resignation. He tried calling me, and that. He sent me my checks, and I just let it go because I was like, I don't want this money because this money is not good money. You know, so just like I let it sit there, and just like after like 180 days, it just voids or whatever. But it's like, yeah, like what do you do in those situations, right? So, like you decide to get out of there, right? For people who are listening, right? If you're in that situation, it's like, what do you do? But it really depends what is happening, right? If it's something so unethical, maybe the best choice is to get out of it, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm so happy to know.
You actually had checks and you didn't.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You did. Wow.
I didn't want. Yeah. I just like let it go. I was like, I don't want. He sent me my last checks. I didn't answer any of his stuff. Wow. And then one night I was out in New York and I saw him there, and I was like, I just immediately left. I don't want to. I was scared. Like, what is he going to say? Wow. He's like, where are you? How are you? You know, what's going on? I was like, I'm just going to leave. You know, and then I just didn't try not to. It's K-Town's very small. You know, you could run into each other. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that was a tough.
There's hope. There's hope.
Well, it's tough. It's tough because it is. The world is. You need money to live, right? You have to pay for rent. But one of my mentors a long time ago told me, always just follow your clinical foot first. The money will follow. Clinical first, money will follow. Because in physical therapy, unit driven, we have a lot of different CPT codes, exercise, balance, ambulation, therapeutic activity training, soft tissue, all these different things. And it's all based on the 8-minute rule. Same thing in acupuncture. We just have less codes. But like, if it's 55 minutes of codes that I bill, that's 4 units. If I bill 50, that's 3 units. So that's like one whole unit that I'm missing. And if I have 20 patients that day, that's 20 units I'm missing for the day. Let's say you get paid $100 for those 20 units, right? That's a lot of money that goes on every single day. So people think, oh, bill 2 more. It's like, it's not about the unit. It's about like how much clinical expertise you can give to the patient. Follow your clinical foot and money will come as long as you have the right intention with the patient. You know, similar to like what you said, it's like expand the education of everyone so they know, hey, this is this is good for me. Okay, I will seek out acupuncture. I will seek out an herbologist. One book that my wife and I listened to was The Secret. Have you guys listened to that one or read that one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
First time you heard it changed my life.
Right?
It's definitely a book that changed my
Yeah.
life. Yeah.
Same, right?
Yeah.
One of the things I remember from there is talking about that competition. You can't think like there's competition out there in the world because there's enough for everybody because it will come.
So that was around the exact time when I started thinking about expanding the pie, because that book really changed my life. I was in a point where I was like really devastated. Like I was having a crisis. Do I still really want to do this? Do I have to accept this kind of reality? But that book changed my life, and that started to change my thought process. And that was the reason why I started thinking, you know what? Let's expand the pie.
Yeah. Smart.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people go into different things thinking that they could just make money. But expand the pie, educate everyone, and there'll be more than enough for everybody. Yeah, I agree. So, question for you guys about, because like starting anything is really hard. You know, just getting it off the ground is very hard, right? And especially you guys were both working also. And then to work on this also, I'm sure it took some sacrifice. Can you talk about some sacrifices that you guys had to make to get Boncho Friends off the ground?
So that continue on from the Kickstarter. We were 100% in Boncho Friends. So we weren't both working at that time. We wanted to make this happen, like really, really wanted to make this happen.
We were living on our savings at that time. We're like, you know what? YOLO.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All in.
Yeah. All in. But
like after, I think it was like couple of months or 3 months.
it was exactly 3 months. Yeah.
Okay, so after 3 months, like we were running out our savings. We didn't have money to pay our next rent, pay our next pay. Yeah, so we had to find something to pay for our living. He went back to finding a job, and then I went back to finding a job. So we're both working and working for the creating Boncho Friends at the same time. Like 9 to 5, we're working at a job, and then after that we come back and then.
And she was working at jobs related to acupuncture. She was working like random jobs because she was just trying to grasp onto whatever she could, because she's more of a panicky type. I'm more of like the all is well kind of. I literally tattooed all on my wrist.
Wow.
If you look at it, every time I panic, I'm like, you know what? All is well. But that's not for her. Like for her, she's like panicked.
I panicked, and I was like, oh.
So she's just trying to find any kind of job that you could find like right away, like hire me now kind of job. So she did. She went through like 7. I mean, how many businesses?
Oh, well,
like there was like a wig company. There was a what?
So I work at a chair company, e-commerce. They're selling a chair online.
But before that.
That was before that, yeah. But then when
I worked at a wig company first.
Yeah.
And then some random other.
I can't even remember.
Yeah, a chips company, like a Korean, the aja like chips. Like they were selling nuts and Brazil nuts or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she was going through like different.
Anything I can find.
She could find.
And then get paycheck. I even work at a real estate company too, selling houses, buying houses. So I have a lot of like different kind of experience, which I don't regret. It always comes back, and then in your life you always use that knowledge somehow. I don't regret it, but only thing that I would do differently if I go back to that time, I would just relax and calm down first, and then tell myself everything's gonna be okay. And I don't have to chase money. I think I was really scared that I wasn't going to make it for the next month or month after.
Which is why Boncho got delayed, because she was in a desperate mode. Like, even though we like, oh, you know what, let's YOLO, let's put it all in, start the business. So 3 months, not enough to sustain us, obviously. So she went into panic mode. It's like, no, I don't think this is it. And so we went our separate ways in that moment. Like we were in a relationship at the time, so we're still supporting each other. But Boncho was in the back burner at the time, because for us it was like, you know what, we gotta make money, we gotta pay the rent. Right. So I worked at my job, she worked at her jobs, but that car accident really changed her mindset. Like working at this chair company is meaningless. Like she could work there comfortably, get the paycheck, but what am I doing to change the world?
Right.
Is this what I really want to do for the rest of my life? So I think that moment was the turning point for us to get back into Boncho, because there are people who are DMing us, commenting, saying that, oh, we love this. This is actually really helping us with our studies. Please make more. So we got back in.
Wow.
But,
Wow. Yeah.
yeah, but a lot of like those are the kind of sacrifices that we had to go through, because you know, these are random jobs, right? Like it's not like what we envisioned in our lives, but we still had to push through and decide again, hey, let's try to do Boncho again. Even though we sort of failed in the beginning and went through panic mode for about a year.
I don't blame you. It's scary. It's scary if things were coming in, and then you still get the DMs, you still get the comments, and you're like, you look at your phone. It's like sort of a stressful thing, you know, like, and you're at a crossroads too, right? And sort of like a burnout type situation, but physically affecting your life because you're not having the finances coming in. So then you have to make the sacrifices and work jobs that you didn't want to work to make money, to put food on the table, and to make sure you had a place to live, while also still having this baby of Boncho in the back of your head. Like, this is something that I want to do. And then for Bora too, I see where it's like, both of you just want to help others. You're out there helping someone, getting lunch for them, getting into a major car accident for somebody else, getting lunch for them, right, at a chair company. And then it's like, I want to help people. I'm helping people at my job by helping them get lunch. And it's like, but I say it's a chair company. Not that it's a bad thing per se, but it's not what you want your life to be.
Right.
So then Boncho came back. So then from there, you guys worked your 9 to 5, but then you also worked your 5 to 9, right? Which is on Boncho.
Yeah. We decided that, hey, let's be more realistic this time. Let's not YOLO and our savings. How about we take it step by step? So that's why we had our full-time job, and once we got back home, we eat dinner and then work until like 12, 1 a.m.
1 a.m., 2 a.m.
Yeah, every single day, just grinding.
Sometimes you work until 5 in the morning, have like 2 hours sleep, and then go to work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just to meet the deadlines, because we had pre-orders. So in order to meet those deadlines, I had to do it, right? Because this is money that we receive from our loyal customers. And if we don't fulfill these products in time, then that's it, right? So that's why at certain moments, I only had like 2-3 hours of sleep.
Wow.
It was worth it.
Yeah.
It was worth it.
Yeah. All right. So then let's talk about your different products, because through all that grind, you guys have foundations, acupuncture, herbology. How many years did it take to get all of that done?
I think we have a total, like, just product, like SKU numbers, like SKUs, 15 SKUs.
Wow.
15 unique, like a board game, coloring books, Chinese character book, the decks and smaller decks. Yeah, 15 different products. It took 2 years, just constant grinding, like every single day, until I created the first one, then the next one, then the next one. So there was no break in between. It's just go, because like in order to sustain the company, like as we sold the pre-orders of the first product, we had to start taking in the second, like the pre-orders for the second product. And so from there, like I'm just like trying to catch up, like trying to, fulfill the orders.
Wow.
Which was good, because it was like, someone like constantly like smacking me from behind. It's like, bro, you can't stop. You gotta, which is why I think we had that, like these products just come out like really fast. We're working on Biomed, because there was a lot of people asking for Biomed. Biomed has a lot of cards. There's anatomy, physiology, pharmacology, pathology that we're focusing on. And we've filled out the Excel sheet of all the information that we're going to put in. Now it's in the building phase, where we're designing and creating the actual cards. So a lot of drawings, everything. Total comes out to be like front and back. So if you count the front and the back, then there's about 2,800. 2,800 unique faces that we have to create right now.
Wow. It's a lot. Well, Boncho Friends is truly a labor of love coming from the two of you, right? And like, I know that acupuncture students out there are definitely benefiting from it. And then now with your biomed pre-order series that's coming out. So what is the timeline on that one? When is pre-orders are happening now already, right? Or
not yet. Like the biomed pre-orders aren't happening yet, but we'll soon be opening it.
Okay.
We're gonna divide the biomed into two decks because there's just way too many information. So the first deck that we're gonna send out is gonna be pathology and pharmacology.
Okay.
So pharmacology and pathology, like in the Western medicine sense, right? A lot of people like we talk to, and her parents are acupuncturists as well. They've been working for 35 years. They have their clinic in Busan, Korea, and a lot of their patients bring in 10 medications, like tons of medications, and they need to know every single one, right? So right now we're creating pharmacology cards so that it's easy to remember and just have with you, plus the pathology cards. So basic aneurysms, basic terms.
Yeah.
And then being able to match those cards together, like drug class, right? So a drug class has this medication, so you can match it together. So we're excited to show that soon, but we're slowly teasing, but we're going to officially open the pre-orders probably like late August or September.
That's late August or September. Okay. So be on the lookout for pre-ordering Biomed card series in August, September. That's awesome. And yeah, let me know, because I'll definitely share all of that with my community as well, because it's huge. When I do tutoring sessions, biomed is like the hardest part for acupuncturists, and yeah, it is hard.
Yeah.
Like when people take the foundations, acupuncture, point location, biomed, it's like what order do you go in? Oh, people take like acupuncture first, foundations, and then biomed at the end because they think it's going to be the hardest.
Yeah.
For me, it was a flip, right? My background is physical therapy, so I did biomed first. Like I graduated, and then like the next month I took biomed, got that out of the way quick, and then I focused more on foundations and acupuncture point location. But like I did it fast because it was like I got married in November, graduated in December, and then took January, March, April, like that. It was like very fast, but biomed was it was good. It was interesting. Biomed is hard though. It's hard for most people. It's difficult, but how you're doing it, I think it's great, because segmenting the information, right, and then being able to combine. These are anti-inflammatory medications. Where is it? Oh, NSAIDs, ibuprofen, whatever, Aleve, those things. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, because that actually would segue us good into a question for you guys, which is, people who are listening right now, they're in different stages of their acupuncture student's career. So some are new acupuncture students, first year. Some are thinking about it, right? Some are thinking about just going to acupuncture school. So if I was a first year acupuncture student and I wanted to make sure I set myself up for success, I go to your website. What's the first deck that I should buy so that I have this good foundational knowledge?
You want to say it
1, 2, 3
at the same time? Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
You guys are too cute.
1, 2, 3. Foundation.
Oh,
great. Yeah.
good thing that.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Why? So why foundations?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, 무조건, like foundations. It has to be foundations because the concept of TCM relies a lot on the foundation portion, because it's good to know this point is good for this, this point is good for that, or this herb is good for this or that. But if you don't know why it's good for it, and what like we're talking about qi, we're talking about blood, we're talking about shui, wei, like all these different terms, right? If we don't know what these terms are, I feel like you're trying to shoot in the dark. You're shooting your gun, but you don't know where you're aiming at. So definitely, if I had foundations, I think I would have had such an easier time, because that's part of the reason why, like when I went to school, I started taking English classes, but I transitioned to Korean classes, because when I took a Korean class, they were going really deep into the terminologies and the actual Chinese characters. because there was so much information within the Chinese character that was being revealed and not being revealed in the English class. So had I known these Chinese characters, had I known why it's called shui or qi or yuan, why is it called yuan qi? Why is it called Gucci? It's not a name brand Gucci, right? But it's like Gucci. It's a very specific term that's called Gucci. So foundation is definitely for me.
Yeah, for me, I agree with him. And also for me, if you really understand the foundation of TCM, for example, heat and cold or blood and qi, when you are actually diagnosing the patients, you'll automatically know what kind of herbs or formulas or acupuncture points that you need to use. If you don't have good foundations, then even though you know a lot about the herbs or formulas, or acupuncture points, you're gonna misdiagnose. And then in worst case, the patient's treatment will get worse.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. For example, treating heat patient with heat herbs, then it's gonna create more heat in the body, and then which is not good.
Because like cold and hot herbs both could tonify blood, right? There's certain ones that tonify blood, but just because it's tonifying blood and you don't consider the temperature, then it could become like worse situation.
Right. So that foundational knowledge, definitely, if you're a first-year acupuncture student, even if you're a second-year acupuncture student, and it's not too late to get the foundational knowledge first by ordering the foundations deck. So foundations deck, okay. Because it is true though, because when you first go to acupuncture school and like the teachers up there and they're like, 8 principles, heat, cold, exterior, interior, and it's like, what? Oh, is it exterior and interior? Is it excess or deficiency? And it's like, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I have no, like, you're learning a different language, literally.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that what confuses me, because I'm like really OCD, like I need to know facts. And when I learned that excess and full is the same Chinese character, like that blew my mind. I was like, I was lied to. Like deficiency and empty, like empty cold, right? It's actually deficiency cold. It's just literally the same Chinese character, like shu. And I was like, oh my god, I why are you using 2 different terms for the same Chinese character? But obviously, as I learned more, like Chinese characters are much more sophisticated, right? Like in different contexts, they have different meanings, which is why it was translated empty cold rather than deficiency colds. But had I known that empty and deficiency are derived from the same character, it would have given me a totally different perspective, which is why my baby product is foundations, because it has a lot of Chinese characters and it shows the definition. So to me, it's crucial. It's totally crucial.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, perfect. So then please, everyone, go to their website, friends.com, buy the foundations one, and then obviously you could see there's a lot of thought that goes into it, especially so that you appreciate the different concepts in TCM. Because in American schools, we're just taught the English word. And a lot of times you get the question too, where it's like, oh, do I need to know the Chinese word? Like maybe for the board exam, you don't necessarily, but if you want to appreciate it more and like really understand the beauty of how this medicine connects all together, like that Chinese character really does help. And clearly Isaac and Bora have put all that into this foundations deck. So definitely go out and buy that foundations deck. Now, let's say they went through first year, second year, right? They bought your foundations, then they bought your acupuncture one, herbology one, right? The biomed one when it comes out. Now they're studying for the board exam. What's your recommendation basically for how to use your study card?
For me, I took California board exam and then also the NCCAOM, all 4 sections. So I would say if you're taking California board exam, I'll buy whatever you feel that you're deficient at, and then just focus on that. And if you're taking NCCAOM exam, you could choose which subject you want to test If you're taking biomed, get biomed and then focus on that. If you're taking Chinese herbology, then buy the herbology deck. For Oriental medicine, Foundation of Oriental Medicine exam, I would go ahead and buy the foundations and the diagnosis deck. That's my recommendation.
Yeah, based on the exam, right?
Exams, yes.
I'm the type of guy that studies not for the exam, but I need to know why this is this and why this is that. So for me, I think the best way to study for people who are like me and like very nitpicky and that kind of stuff is to focus on, let's say you have a formula, then focus on that formula and get all the cards that are related to that one formula. For instance, like blood and deficiency card, and put that in the pile with the formula, plus the herbs that are inside the formula. So I would hyper focus on that one formula and try to understand like the holistic picture of why this formula is good for blood deficiency, and look at all the herbs that are next to it. And because these are cards, like I could literally just put them, next to each other, and then see blood and flip it around and see what the definition is, or like deficiency, remind myself what the definition is, and then look at the herbs and then see what kind of functions they have. And I was like, oh yeah, this one and this one, like this together, this is helping with the blood deficiency, this is helping with moving the blood, and this is why it's good for this through this formula, and that kind of way. And if you had the diagnosis deck with you, then you would be able to see the diagnosis and see the pattern. Why is this pattern causing this kind of symptoms? And look at the pattern and the symptoms and the herbs like all in one spot, and just hyper focus on that one formula.
Wow.
So customizing your own education and dive really deep. So for people who are like me, I would recommend that kind of study.
Yeah, it's great for tactile learners, people who need to see it where it is, right? Like for me, I remember on quizzes, I'm like, oh, I remember it's on the back page and it's like right at the bottom left, but I don't remember what it was, but I know it's there. And it's like, oh, I forgot what was the second one. But yeah, so having actually multiple decks is actually really good because you can just combine all the information together. It's sort of like principle-based learning, where it's like, you break it down into all of its different components and then you backtrack up to like, okay, this is deficiency, and then you go from there. Wow, that's actually a really good hack actually for your cards. Yeah. I was envisioning also the Tony Stark Iron Man situation where it's like they pull up the hologram and you have all your different cards and then like how it segues together, because it's like it's learning, right? It's just a different way of learning. That's awesome. Yeah, because like learning the reason why things work versus just memorizing it, rote memorization, like that can only go so far, because then if you just memorize it, you're going to remember where it is on your piece of paper, or you're going to remember, I studied this over here, but what is that? I forget. But if you know why it does this, why the Chinese character is this, then you remember it, right? So much better.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. I think also with your cards too, there's some different memory or learning techniques. Like one thing that I remember is Memory Palace. Have you heard of Memory Palace? I used to do this for just like 6, 7, 34, 8, like the different sheet clef points and just learning it across. Memory Palace is like where they basically, you study a topic and whatever, let's say like diagnosis or something. You're studying 6 stages. And Yang Ming channel pattern, and you have a card for that, and so you would study this card in a very specific part of your house or your apartment. Okay, so you study this one in your office, you put it on your shelf in your memory palace, which is your brain. You walk up to the shelf, you pick up the card, and you read it there. And say, okay, there's 4 bigs: big thirst, big fever, big pulse, big sweat. Okay, put it back there. And then you remember, like when you need to pull it again, oh yeah, this is the one that's on my shelf. Okay, and you go there in your memory palace, or it's like
a memory anchor.
Yeah, yes, like an anchor. Yes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like an anchor.
So it's anchored there, or it's anchored at the toilet, or it's anchored at the stairs, something like that. So then you can walk around and remember where you place these specific things. So that's for people who have your cards, really good to do that physically in your house too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Physically.
You could take it to the bathroom.
Yeah. And then you remember in the bathroom, I went over these cards. And so like, what cards did I go over? I went over these cards and boom. Or I was in my car and I went over these cards. Or I was on the NQRW train and I was near 34th Street and I went over this card. You know, it's like, wow, cool. That helps you. Anything to help you pass.
Yeah.
Because it's just having the cards is great, right? But you have to execute really good on the cards too. Because you guys put so much love, blood, sweat, tears, sacrifice, working crazy jobs, working a 9 to 5, then working 5 p.m. to 9 a.m. working on those cards, right? And now people, like, once they buy them, that's just the first step. Second step is use them correctly. And like, just, I guess I would say then probably exposing yourself, like you said, to them, to the cards in a categorical way helps a lot too. And then obviously also, if you're going to take the foundations, buy the foundations deck and combine it with diagnosis, like you were saying before, Bora. Something people use too is like this, like, my wife is a speech therapist, so she talks about this a lot, where it's called delayed recall or spaced repetitions. So like using your cards, right? So let's say it is like the lung, you know, and they're just learning foundational stuff, so they're learning lung functions. So, okay, it houses the pole. It opens into the nose, whatever. That's on the card. And they would take it out, read it, be able to recall it, and then they put it, you know, in like box 1, let's say. So they put it in box 1, and then 4 hours later, they go back to the box and they try to recall, you know, everything that's in that box. If they can recall it in that box, then they put it in box number 2. Box number 2 is going to be one that you review in 2 days. So then you test yourself. In 2 days, I'm going to go to this box. Anything I don't remember, I put it back in box 1. So that way, box 1, I review every 4 hours again. And then, I got it right. Wow. I put it in box 3. Box 3 is every week. So every week I go to these cards because, like, okay, I got it. This is easy. Lung functions, you know, body hair, toe, opens into nose, whatever. Right? That's in box 3 now because that's every week. And I get it. Now I put in box 4. Box 4 is every month. So I review those every month. But everything that I really need, like I have a hard time with, I put in box 1. I do that maybe twice a day, every 4 hours, every 8 hours or something like that. That's like the box method for, but because you guys made these cards, people can use those different learning methods. You know, that's something that we were doing in physical therapy school.
That's a really great way to utilize it. Yeah. Wow.
Okay. Yeah. So people have the access to your cards. People who are listening have, you know, 2 different methods now, I guess, that they can use your cards with a whole memory palace thing or the memory anchoring, and then the spaced repetition method as well. So also hope everyone uses that. All right. So Bora and Isaac, I think this was an amazing conversation. I think people got a lot out of it. I hope people were motivated by your story about sticking to your ethics, sticking to your morals, you know, and executing on certain ideas and dreams that they have. But they can't find a partner to help them focus, perhaps focus themselves, right? And figure out what's their life goal, course correcting themselves, orienting themselves towards that, right? And even in the intention of orienting themselves before they treat their patients.
I really appreciate this kind of thing, having something that students right now who've gone through what we've gone through and seeing people who are, I think we've been really lucky, and I would consider ourselves successful because we've gotten to this point. I would have never imagined all the things that happened in our lives up to this point, and I'm really thankful for that. And to have this kind of space to show other students who might be going through the same struggles that we've gone through, because at that time there's not a lot of information out there, not a lot of acupuncturists who could say, hey, we followed our heart, we followed our dreams, and we're doing exactly what we want to do. So for us to have the opportunity to show people, like, hey, this is real. This is actually true. This is reality. You could do it. Believe in yourself. Just one more day. Keep grinding. Just do what you want to do. Follow your heart. You don't have to sacrifice your morals. You don't have to sacrifice your beliefs. Just follow your dreams and you'll get there. And the fact that we have the privilege to say that to your podcast, I really appreciate it. So thank you so much for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you both. Thank you both, because like everyone, you heard it from Bora and Isaac themselves. It's possible. Whatever you have in your head, whatever you're thinking, it's possible. They did it. They did it through a lot of trial, tribulation. They did it through blood, sweat, and tears. But over time, it will happen. On a long enough time horizon, you can be successful at whatever you're thinking about. If you can think it, you can make it happen. So
Thank you.
let's let everyone know where they can find you, your social media, your website. Where can they find you guys?
You can find us on Instagram. Our handle is Boncho Friends. And then you can find our product on our website, bonchofriends.com. We also have TikTok. We also have other social media account. You can just type Boncho Friends and you will find us.
And if you don't want the physical cards, but want the digital access to the cards, we actually have on a website called ponchoschool.mn.co. We could provide you the link, but you could actually subscribe there and you could look at our cards through an app on iOS or Android or on a website. Dude, it's a really cool app. So it's called Mighty Network.
Perfect. We will link all of that in the show notes, everything in the description. I'll make sure that's all linked there. And aren't you guys also giving a special code for Study Acupuncture listeners as well?
Yeah, we actually have a special coupon for Study Acupuncture with me. It's Study Acu with me, and it's 10% off your first order.
Wow. Nice. Awesome. So you heard it from Bora and Isaac. You will see all of their social media links and the link to their website where all their products are. And you guys can go to their website, and on your first order, you get 10% off using the code STUDYACU with me. That's STUDYACUWITHME, and you get 10% off. So everyone, please buy their study cards. Use those different methods that we talked about. It's going to help you retain the material. It's going to help you understand and appreciate the medicine that is traditional Chinese medicine and help you pass the board exam. So again, Bora and Isaac, thank you guys so much. Thank you for this time. Really appreciate you. You guys are amazing. Congratulations on getting married soon, or if you guys are officially married, but congratulations on getting married in Korea soon. So I wish you all the luck with that. And we'll see you again.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.